Hey guys, this is going to be the first video of videos I'm going to be posting on my YouTube channel. Wanted to start kind of getting that going. Going to be having some kind of video production company that's going to be helping me to record my races and kind of put videos and marketing out there for my sponsors. So today I want to just kind of introduce the channel. I did make a name change. I kind of ditched the Coyote Off-Road Racing and just went with my name, John Moe, number 14. So it's John Moe Racing. Didn't really I did the Coyote thing partially because my daughter's going to a school. Their mascot's coyotes. We have them all over our neighborhood. I thought it'd be kind of a cool thing to do, but I'm kind of over it now and just wanted to keep it simple. Logos and stuff like that, it's really hard to put the logo that we created on anything basically because it's so complicated. So I'm just gonna go with something simple like my initials and my number, maybe my name in it somewhere for some recognition at one point or at some point. We're just gonna go over kind of the car a little bit. So if you don't know, we're building a brand new Jimmy's IFS single seat car. It's based on the Red Dragon. There's some changes to it, a little bit of upgrades here and there. Not real different. The IFS system I think is completely different. It's similar to what's on Lauren's car now. But for the most part, the car is going to be very similar. Upgraded in a lot of ways. We're running a, sorry if I sound weird. I have a really bad sore throat. And then it's also like really late and I'm tired. But we're going to be running a stroked LS7 tall deck, dart block, Rodex heads. It's going to have all billet internals, basically the strongest stuff, the best stuff that we can find. We didn't spare any expense on it. Going to be running the MSD Atomic intakes. I would love to run like a big, one of those big intakes like on the rear engine cars, but it's just not possible with the car that we have. I always kind of loved the Red Dragon design. I know I shopped around for a few different companies, but when it came down to it, I just really wanted my own Dragon. So we're gonna have a Gearworks transmission, all the bells and whistles, strong. We are running an Atlas transfer case. It's gonna be all Spider Tracks, axles, rotors, hats, unit bearings, all that will be Spider Tracks, 45 spline, so as big as it gets right now, except for the 36 spline trophy truck stuff that doesn't really fit. What else? King Shocks. Brett King's been amazing to work with. Spent a lot of time on the phone with him going over the build, and he made sure that even though we probably couldn't afford it, he made sure that we are getting the very best of parts that he offers. Can't really thank him enough. Feel very blessed to spend time with a guy like that, and then to hear that he was going to be hooking us up the way he did was pretty incredible. Same thing with Raceline. Raceline is basically gave us everything, hooked us up with everything. Still have not found a tire. Man, it's kind of a hard decision for me because I ran Maxxis even on my like Jeeps and 1-ton Jeeps and all that stuff, but there's something about a different tire on that car that seems to go together well. So we'll see where that ends up. There's still probably 3 or 4 that I need to go through and really see who's going to help us the most and who's going to do what for us. The car is going to be incredible. It's going to compete. If you don't know me, I'm competitive. I literally cannot sleep at night when I'm not competing in something, whether it just anything. I don't care if it's a game of Scrabble with somebody. I have to always be competing. I just have that competitive blood in me. Used to play a lot of sports back when I was younger, before I had, torn shoulders and torn knees and just injury basically. So this is the competing is kind of the filler, not being able to compete, just simply used to play basketball for literally hours a day. I can't do it anymore. So Ultra4 Racing has definitely filled the void. And not only filled the void, but it's probably the most excited I've been about competing. The big names that are out there, the winners that just continually win. I just feel like I need to be in that category. It's going to take time. There's guys that are competing that are in their 50s and 60s. I'm in my 30s, so I got plenty of time to get seat time and to, you know, let my talent catch up with my desire. But if you know me, if you're a part of my family or in my circle of friends, you know that I don't give up, and I very rarely fail when it comes to stuff like this. I take it very seriously. I think people can probably see that, and they're probably a little shocked that I'm going in so deep with only my second year of racing, but that's just how I am. Luckily, I have a wife that understands it, and she lets me, sort of. She doesn't leave me, even though I don't ask her permission first. I just kind of do it because I know that I have to. But I do appreciate her sticking by me and my kids sticking by me. They kind of get excited about, you know, speed now. They're all about off-road, and even like racing my Audi and stuff like that. They love that stuff now. So anyway, where was I at? So King Shocks, Raceline wheels, not sure about the tires yet. Gonna run an ARB in the front and probably just a Gearworks billet in the rear, spool, you know. One thing that I'm really excited about that I kind of wanted to save for a second video is are going to be our vehicle management system. We're going to be having a guy by the name of John Webster, who's out of California, who he's worked on a lot of other like trophy truck style vehicles and some pretty high-end big names. And he is going to be the one to wire our car. We're working on contracts right now, working on pricing and things like that now, but I'm pretty dead set on him being the guy. If he is the guy, y'all are gonna hear a lot about the vehicle management system. I'll go over some of the stuff. Basically, it's gonna be a Motec system with a hybrid. It's gonna be a hybrid between Motec and Holley. Using Holley stuff simply because the cost, Motec is so expensive, and the wiring job's like a $40,000 job anyway. So if we can save a couple $1,000 on some of the parts that we know are interchangeable and there's no sacrifice, we're gonna do that. He's gonna be completely wiring the car, building the harnesses. The harnesses are going to be, you know, all mil spec, high end, the highest end stuff you can buy, basically, trophy truck stuff. So, and a lot of guys run that stuff, but a lot of them don't use all the features of it. A lot of them just don't know all the features of it. So, we are going to basically have, I think it was like 280 sensor / monitoring sensors of the car. So things like having the gear oil, always knowing the temperature of that, running 2 alternators, and when one alternator goes down, the other one's going to kick in. And a lot of guys are probably thinking, oh crap, there's too much stuff on the car, it's going to break. But not if it's done right. Trophy Truck's been doing it for years. We're probably like 10 years behind where they are. Almost every single one of them has that now that's built. And being a single seat IFS and not having a lot of seat time, I don't want to worry too much about all that stuff. I do a lot of research on it. I watch a lot of videos. A lot of them are from Australia. But I'm able to, like I said, when I do something, I don't take shortcuts, and I don't do it half-assed in any way. So if it takes me hours and hours a night until my car is built, months later, I don't care. It's an investment that I'm making in myself, and making sure that whenever there is a problem, what's great about the system is that it all kind of fixes itself, or at the very least, if you are going to have some kind of catastrophic failure, it tells you, and not only does it tell you, it'll shut something down if it's at a critical stage all by itself. And you might think, well, I don't want that to happen, but I do. If I'm going to spend 50 grand on a motor, you know, and my oil temperature is hot, or my, you know, something's going on that I can't really see under the hood, I want to stop. I don't want to burn up my motor. I don't want to cook the motor. Same thing with transmission, same thing with transfer case. It's a system that not only warns you, but it takes action, I guess is the best way to explain it. And we are going to use it to the very fullest. I mean, we might even be putting like TPMS sensors in the tires, you know, in all 15 or 20 tires that I have, just so that I know if something's going low, I could, you know, how many stories do you hear whenever somebody's like, oh, I just passed the pits and then this happened? Well, I want to be able to have an advantage when it comes to that stuff. And if I know there's a problem, at the very least, I can go in there, fill it up with air, as much PSI as it can hold, and then go, and then, you know, it's going to monitor itself. Also, camera system. It's going to have a front and rear camera, possibly even more. It's going to be recording everything at all times. And then also the 12-inch screen that Motec has, 5 inches will be the camera at all times. So the rear-facing camera, because as you know, you can't see behind you in most of these races. And like nationals, if I'm going to hold my line, it'd be great to be able to see who's behind me and where they are, and, you know, just a pretty good advantage. It's all PDM, no switches or relays or anything like that. It's all going to be pretty advanced. So I'll talk more about that as it happens. John Webster is going to be doing some research on it here pretty soon, and starting to build everything out, so that way whenever Randy Rod over at Jimny's is done with the car, which should be, the chassis should be getting started very, very soon. We were really just waiting on the motor. We have a good timeline now from Thompson Motorsports of when the motor is going to be done, which is supposed to be right around March 15th. John Webster is actually going to fly to Dallas along with myself and help to tune the motor as well. Hoping to get, I really just kind of want like 800 horsepower out of it. I think with the different intake, more injection would easily be able to get 900 out of that motor, but not for what we do. We don't need it. So I'm going to stick to like 800, maybe 700 foot-pounds of torque, something like that. I'll be happy with that. It's more than most guys that are running, all the classes right now. So we'll see how it goes. I appreciate you listening in. If you're on my page for the first time, try to like the video and subscribe. Build like a little bit of a following. I'll be posting a lot of videos going now. Hopefully they won't all be at 11:30 at night on a Friday. But I'll try to keep y'all posted. And it's also good for me just to kind of have some records of this experience that I'm going through. The journey to the Hammers is not just the actual journey. Building your car is part of the journey. It's a big part of it. It takes a lot of commitment, takes a lot of money, takes a lot of time. I probably spend more time doing this than I spend doing anything now, except for probably hanging out with my kids. But it's something we're taking seriously. We hope you guys follow us from now when we first starting really to where we get, where we end up with this thing. So appreciate it.